and wait, the darkness. They're all interconnected ideas, so I really sometimes I mix up what is clear, but essentially kind of absence leads to presence, darkness leads to light. Hi, I'm Misha, and welcome to Vibrant Classroom, where I share reflections and revelations on the journey to speak, create, and be vibrantly. Today, I wanted to talk about the wonder of winter. So, in the Northern Hemisphere, at least in the US, people often talk about a winter wonderland. And I think a lot of people really do appreciate the beauty and magic of winter. But recently, I was reflecting more and more. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's starting to be winter now. And I've been thinking more and more about kind of winter and what it really means and why it truly is wonderful. So this all started, this reflective process was actually a long time coming. But last year, around this time, I had been really going out into the world and enjoying kind of being in the spring and summer, and I had a lot of kind of creative inspiration. I was meeting a lot of new people. I was really kind of in this external, expansive moment, and I was really enjoying it. However, there came a point when I realized that even this movement, there is a sense of stagnation. So, for example, I was taking a lot of photographs, and at first it was really fruitful and I was really enjoying it. But then there became a point where I really just felt that I was going through the motions and I really wasn't as connected to it anymore. I also, started out meeting people, and I was really enjoying meeting so many new people and having all these great conversations. But then towards the end, I found that I really wasn't as engaged, and I really kind of wanted to have some more kind of quiet, alone, reflective time. So intuitively, I was kind of sensing the end of this kind of sunny, expansive movement, and I can already feel that I on my of my own accord, I kind of wanted kind of a more wintry yin moment, so to speak. So I began to think about kind of what is it? Why do we want these yin moments? Because why don't we just want to kind of always be out, always be expanding, always want it to be spring? What is truly kind of the purpose of these kind of reflective wintry moments? So I started to think about it. I was kind of moved to kind of be in my home, enjoy the cloudiness, start to do these kind of meditative activities like cooking, like reading, and just kind of meditating. And I started to think about kind of winter itself in nature and what that really means. Um, because winter as a season has these very specific qualities that relate to kind of these underlying ideas of yin and yang. So one of the things that happen is kind of the earth itself. A lot of it is kind of dead on the outside level. So the trees lose their leaves. There are no flowers. Everything is kind of bare and it's kind of gray and brown and colorless. So what I find that I only kind of just started to understand about this is, it's getting us to not think so much about the external world, because it's saying, the external world right now is not very fruitful, or the world right on top of the earth is not very fruitful. And it gets us to look at the beyond, both the underworld and the heavens. And these are the areas where things are happening. So, for example, if we look to the heavens, one of the things that we notice is in the winter, because it's cold, the sky is so much clearer and we have much more visibility of all these stars. And also because the trees have no leaves, we can see that not only is the sky clear, but there's nothing obstructing our view of the stars. So at that time, the night sky is so much more bright and brilliant, and we can just see the beauty of the stars. And I love this because here we're focused, there's not as much color, but there's so much more light. And it's also getting us to look further away and to see the brilliance of the beyond. So in those moments where the earth is bare and we're starting to see more what's far away, this new sense of possibility, these new things that give us inspiration that maybe we wouldn't have seen when we were kind of focused on the world around. Another thing that happens, talking about the clarity, talking about the light, and talking about not being obstructed by branches, is that during the day, the light of the sun has a brighter quality, and it's more direct and it's unobstructed. So so the world itself is much clearer. We can see it for what it is, and also everything then receives the illumination of the light. And what I like to think of is, a lot of the times we try to kind of cover up who we are because we're afraid that other people won't appreciate us. We think that we're not deserving of love. We think that the person who we truly are isn't someone that we should kind of vulnerably share with the world. But what I really like about winter, in everything being so bare and the light being so bright, is that everything is just shown before the bright winter sun, whether it tries to hide itself or not. It will be visible. But it also means everything will receive the light of the sun. So even in your moments of vulnerability, when you're kind of, whether you try to or not, showing your true self and you're not sure how you feel about that, how others will react to it, you will inevitably receive the light of the sun. You'll receive its warmth, you will receive its glow. So I think it's also teaching us a sense of vulnerability and teaching us that we are all deserving of the love of the sun. So that's kind of what the heavens teach us in the winter. And then if we kind of look to the underworld, below the earth, and we dive into the soil, there it has another quality. So there's kind of no light to be seen. Instead, there's kind of a sense of darkness. But this has its own beauty. So here it's kind of like the womb. It's all the soil is very nutrient rich. It's kind of enveloping, it's embracing, and it's creating a sense of darkness and stillness that can create new life. So here I really like this because, the murkiness of the underworld, in another video I talk about how, when we allow ourselves to be lost in the underworld, that's when we can find a new sense of purpose. When we forget kind of the ideas that we're attached to, then we can allow for new ideas to come in, kind of in this dark, nurturing area where we can't see. Our eyes are of no use to us. That's when we need to let our third eye open up. So in this new way, when we're not running around, when we're not trying to kind of think about kind of what's visible on the plane above, that's when we can create this stillness, this darkness, and this nurturing quality that can then lead to new life, new inspiration, and new abundance. And in both of these situations, I like to think about how the yin then creates yang. So the darkness of the underworld then creates this sense of new life, new light. And the darkness. they're all interconnected ideas, so I really sometimes I mix up what is clear, but essentially kind of absence leads to presence, darkness leads to light. So I guess we're talking more about the light when we're talking about the heavens, the absence in the underworld. So you might not see anything in the underworld, but this absence in the underworld leads to a presence, and then above you see kind of more of a sense of kind of it's really all the same. It's really all the same. Absence, darkness, presence, light. The absence of the leaves and the absence of life on the earth then leads to the presence of seeing the light. The darkness of kind of the surrounding sky makes the stars more prominent. But essentially these ideas of absence then lead to presence. These ideas of darkness lead to light. And especially kind of just the general absence on the earth leads us to look to other places. So when we see lack somewhat in a certain place, maybe in our immediate environment, then we look for presence elsewhere. So really, winter is a time when there's not much in kind of the practical immediate world, and then that has us look to the beyond, whether in the underworld or in the heavens. And that is truly the wonder of winter. Well, thank you so much for watching, for listening. Please stay tuned for more of Vibrant Classroom, where we'll share more ideas and reflections, revelations on the journey to create, speak, and be vibrantly. Take good care.